Dun, 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 dun.
Himself.
What else is
His
new?
attitude off the field at the combine. His dad didn't help him either. He was on podcast talking about this is my son. If I can get him to where I want to get him to, I'm going to do that. But when you listen to this kid talk right prior or at the combine about if you want a new culture in your locker room, I'm the guy to do that. I can turn it around. I mean, he's very high on himself. And I think he was very off-putting to many coaches and general managers in the league. And I'm telling you right now, and I know this after talking to 3 different personnel people in the NFL this weekend, they didn't even have him on their board. They took him off. And they took him off because the owner said, take him off. I don't want that guy. I don't want this entitled person on our team. And I don't blame him.
You hear that?
Yeah, what can we learn from Dion?
And they took him off because the owner
Well,
said, take him
we
off.
can learn
I
that
don't want
black
that guy.
men
Shador Sanders just
cannot,
torpedoed himself. His attitude
black
off the
men
field at the combine.
must act the way white men want them to.
His
And
dad
if they don't act the way white men want them to, then but we already knew that.
How
So I
many?
know, yeah, I know what the game is. I know that the game. Listen, Archie Manning done the same thing for his son, but nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about the fact that the Mannings did the same exact thing. Archie said he was people that he didn't want his son to play for, but when he did it,
Yeah.
he's
So
a
you're
white man.
assuming all general managers and coaches and owners are white.
Yeah, they are. The owners are. The 99% of the owners are white.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
Inherited money, old money.
however the money is, you know, the bottom line is that but for black people, this ain't nothing new. And this is where I'm disappointed in Dion at. He knew but when you are but his son is a privileged kid. He's got the privilege of having coming from money.
Yeah. Both of them didn't go anywhere.
And his father did well. Um, but so I hold them accountable on that side. But I know what country I live in. I know how white men um see black men. And I know that I have a little easier time because I'm lighter skinned. And in this country, it doesn't matter how big you are if you're a black man. It matters how dark you are. And the darker you are, the more of a threat you possess. And that's how white men see black men since the beginning of America. And there's no way around it.
So Shakur
You
just
get-
wasn't just a pain in the ass. Some
No,
arrogant
I
D.
mean, listen, here's a confident kid who uh, played the game at a certain level, and he's talking about it. But if I'm going to be honest,
Uh-huh.
I don't want him on my team. Not because of his confidence, but because of the way in which he carried himself. I just,
Yeah.
I need some humility for me. But that's just me. It doesn't mean that a whole league, that a whole group of people have the right to collude and decide they're going to teach this boy a lesson. Yeah, but and you
Really,
don't see it
Mark
that way,
doesn't
Mike,
that
because you don't see it
but
that
so
way because this is what
you
you
wouldn't have him on,
yeah,
so you would
but
others too?
no, what I'm saying is this. I'm not all black people, so not every black person is going to see it the way I see it. Some black people are going to say, I love his confidence. So for a whole group, a whole 100% of them to to say the same thing, that's how I know it was collusion. That's how I know that it was a groupthink kind of situation. See, I feel the way I feel, Mike,
yeah.
but I have another friend named Keone who feel totally opposite of me.
Mhm.
I have another friend named Tim who's different than who feels like he should have that attitude. So the three of us have three different thoughts about this one kid.
Mhm.
And it should be okay. We should be able to. Because we don't have a groupthink thing going on where we're colluding with each other and saying the same thing about this black kid because we're all black. But you have grown men who are leaders in their respective league
Mhm.
that come together to become one thought. And that's where I have an issue. That
It
they don't become individual thinkers on this kid. They get together and say, we're gonna teach this boy a lesson.
Oh, well, now all of a sudden, no, I mean, all of a sudden, attitude matters. Nobody wants cancer in their
Mhm.
organization,
Hey
which I
man,
think brings us back
but
to Colin Kaepernick. I mean,
well,
Colin,
yeah, another black man. But
he's easy.
what about
I mean,
Manziel? What about when Johnny Manziel came into? They let him. He was the same bravado.
I
He
mean,
talked the same shit.
we
But
kicked
guess
some
what?
female out. She was
He was
white,
a first round draft
white
choice.
gay. She was
He
a
got
cancer.
he got to, but he got to play.
Who's that? Manziel?
Johnny Manziel. He got to play. He got to be cancer. So what you guys have done
Manziel.
is you guys have gotten together to make him something that you don't even know what he's going to be. That kid might go out there and be the best kid in your locker room. But because he's a black kid and you don't like arrogant black kids because he's going to be a cancer.
Manziel
Y'all
last
don't make you got to make it make sense, Mike. Y'all don't make it make sense. You have to be honest enough.
years, and he was
You
kicked
have to
out.
be honest enough to call America what it is, Mike. America is a racist, bigoted, prejudiced, and biased country. And white men like you, Mike, you guys carry that bigotry. You guys carry that prejudice. You guys carry that racism. You guys carry it's in the dirt of who you are. Now, I'm mad about it because I understand that that's the way it is. And if it was my son, I would have told him different. I would have prepared him differently for the moment.
Shadur.
Yeah, if it was my son.
Shadur.
I think Dion, in my opinion, failed him in a lot of ways by not preparing him for the moment the right way. But again, that's just my take on it. Hey, what's happening, EMAC? What's happening, Big Charles? Big Charles said, I think the coach can put his attitude in check. That's the coach's job to control his players.
But I mean, these are different kids these days.
Hey, man, but again, I just think there was some racial undertones and overtones about this whole thing.
Okay.
But then I still say, black can't be too happy or too proud, is what Janet Marie said. Hey, Janet Marie. That's right. Can't be too happy, can't be too proud. All right, you ready for me?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Let me find the right button. Not that one. Oh yeah. All right, Jay. This is going to record and play Sunday. We're gonna have a great show. Here we go. We can go 12 minutes here, or as long as you'd like.
12 minutes. We'll do 12 minutes. Okay.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is for you, make it good. My name is Jay King. Welcome to the J King Show at KBLA Talk 1580. We got a good one for you today. We're talking about picking a manager, uh, being a good manager, or picking a good manager. And it's going to be for recording artists. Let me go back, Mike. Let me go back to that. You ready? Um,
Yep.
Good morning. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is. Make it good for you. My name is Jay King. Welcome to the Jay King Show at KBLA Talk 1580. Today we got a good one for you. We're talking about how to find We're talking about how to be or find the right fit for an artist manager. That's right. If you're an artist looking for a manager, you can't just pick managers off of trees. It doesn't work like that. You don't just meet the first person that comes in your face and says, "Hey, I want to manage you," and pick that person. You have to know what you're doing, why, who, when, what. All those questions have to be answered because a manager is important to a career. How your career starts is going to have a lot to do with how it ends. So, my name is Jay King. Welcome to the Jay King Show. I am the president and CEO of the California Black Chamber of Commerce. I am the leader and creator of the group Club Nouveau. I do a radio show on 97.5 FM KDEE in Sacramento. You can listen to it on kdeefm.org. I'm there every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 3 to 5 p.m. I start a show on May 5th every Monday from 1 to 3 p.m. It's the J. King Show. It's more talk and politics and business and community. And Monday through Friday from 8 to 10 a.m. on jkingnetwork.com. I do the Kings in the Morning show, and it is a wild and crazy show. So I'm always doing something, and I enjoy what I do at radio and with the California Black Chamber, but I also enjoy management. I've had the pleasure of managing Karen White in her comeback. I was the beginning of her comeback career when she, after being out of the music business for 19 years, I was the person that brought her back in, got her ready, and then she started to fly. And Karen, to this day, I consult with her. And that was in, I want to say, 2012. And we've been rocking ever since. I also manage Cameo, Larry Blackman, and I manage Eddie Levert, the Eddie Levert from the legendary iconic group, the OJs. And I got to tell you, being a manager is a lot of work and it requires a lot of attention and care. And as an artist, picking a manager is hard work. And we're going to talk about both of those things today. Number one, if you're picking a good manager, how are you looking at the manager? What are you looking for in a manager? For me, I want my manager to be a hard worker, just right off the top. Somebody who is ready to get their fingernails dirty and really ready to hustle for me. And it's easy to talk about a manager being a good manager, but finding a good manager is difficult. Finding a hard worker that's dedicated, that's loyal, but that's going to also be honest and truthful with you. A lot of times, people want managers that are going to second everything they say. I don't. I don't think you find a manager like that. You want a manager that's going to work hard and that's going to challenge you as an artist. So when you're picking a good manager, you want one that's a hard worker. Um, when you're being a good manager, um, you have to understand the need of the artist. What does this artist need? How can I take the needs of the artist and then put them in an order that I believe is going to help them grow from one step to the next step to the next step to ultimate success. And a lot of times people pick managers that are their friends. And people say, why would you pick a manager that is your friend? Why wouldn't you pick a manager that knows what he's doing? Believe it or not, when you can pick a manager that can grow with you or that will grow with you, that's a plus. But again, it has to be somebody that's a hard worker. So if you're going to pick one of your friends, you pick a friend that's going to do the hard work. And the hard work is learning artist development, uh, learning information about the industry, learning about marketing and promotion, learning about branding and contract negotiations. Somebody who's going to do the hard work. When you're being a good manager, and especially if you're somebody who's never done it before or who's new in the game, get a good understanding of the need of your artist. But more importantly, study, study, organize, execute, study the business, organize your thoughts. So as you get into this thing, that you know what you're doing. If you know if your artist is an independent artist, you know what elements do you need in order to release a single? Do you have to, what kind of aggregator do you have to go through? Do you have to have a distributor? Can you aggregate yourself through a third party? And because that's what it's called when you put music up for streaming and for digital downloads. It's aggregating it. Where an aggregator, somebody who's going to manage it, who's going to collect the money from the radio play, the streaming, who's going to collect the money from the digital downloads and then pay you. They're going to take a percentage and pay you the rest. But if you're a manager and you don't understand this, you're gonna upload some music. Uh, your artist is going to get that record out there. They're going to make some money, but they're going to miss some money because you didn't get an ISRC code. And that's where the understanding comes in. So you need to understand your artist, because the ISRC code is how they track your record when it plays all over the world. And then when it goes outside of the United States and other countries and it's playing on the radio, and you have neighboring rights, if you don't have your music or your songs registered with BMI, ASCAP, or CSAC, then not only can you not collect money from airplay in the United States, you can't collect money from outside the United States because ASCAP, CSAC, BMI all have deals with Gamma. Gamma is the writing society outside of the United States and Europe that collects money for you for your publishers or your performing rights organizations that collect your publishing and writing royalties. This is what a manager has to know. So if you're going to pick a good manager, you want to pick a manager that's a hard worker, even if it's one of your buddies, somebody that you know is going to be serious about your business and help lead you down the right road, the right way, and it's going to take it seriously. And if you're going to be a good manager, you must understand the need of your artist, but more importantly, learn as much as you can all the way across the platform, whether it's artist development, publishing and writing, marketing and promotion, radio promotion, touring, business management, streaming and digital platforms, public relations, sync licensing. There's just so many things that a manager that you need to know. But the wonderful thing about it is as you learn and as you get out there and do these things, you'll understand the need of the artist because you'll actually be the person driving the boat. You'll be getting him or her in the right direction. And that's what a good manager does. And so being a good manager, that's what it is. Picking a good manager, you want to look for a hard worker. Um, when you pick a manager, you want to pick somebody who believes in you. You know, if it's somebody that's just getting a check from you, you know, a manager that you're writing a check to every every so often, whether it's every 2 weeks, every month, or whatever, that's not necessarily a good manager. Uh, when you have a manager that believes in you, that believes in your talent, that is willing to uh, put put some sweat equity in the game, that's who you're looking for. You're looking for somebody who's going to respect you, uh, somebody who has some experience as it relates to uh, the business itself. And even if it's just minimal experience when they're doing the work. So when you pick a good manager, you're picking a hard worker, somebody that's going to be honest and forthright with you, somebody that's willing to, to to go through the battle with you. Uh, when you're being a good manager, you're there understanding the need of your artist, being honest and straightforward with your honest artist, and telling him or her when they're right or wrong. You're tuned into the Jay King Show at KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Jay King. We're talking about finding the right fit as an artist and an artist manager. So if you are the artist, you want to find the right fit for you. If you are the manager, you want to make sure that that artist is the right fit for you. The right fit is what's going to make this thing do what it do. You're tuned into the Jay King Show at KBLA Talk 1580. We'll be right back. How's that, Mike?
Got it. Yeah, yeah.
You ready?
Yes, I am. You want to keep going? 12 minutes.
Another 12 minutes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're tuned into the Jay King Show at KBLA Talk 1580, and we're talking about finding that right fit for you. Uh, Artist management is tough, and it's a lot of work. And in the beginning, not only is it a lot of work, it's a lot of work that's not going to bring you a lot of pay. As a matter of fact, it's going to be more sweat equity than it is going to be money in your pocket. So, how do you find the right fit, or how do you become the right fit as a manager? When being the right manager means that you understand how to use your resources, how to use connections, uh, sometimes knowing how to build the right kind of relationship with somebody, because artists can be difficult, and artists can be selfish, and artists can be short-sighted, and artists could be like little Lord Fauntleroy. I want it, I want it, I want it, I want it, I want it. And as a manager, sometimes you have to use a resource or a connection to help the artist in their temper tantrum and what it is that they're going through to get what they want. And you have to be willing to let them have it, let them fall on their face with it, and then help them up, dust them off, and start them over again. A good manager understands that the relationship isn't going to be perfect, that the relationship isn't going to just be smooth sailing. When when you are managing an artist, you're managing, especially a recording artist, an emotional personality. That's what makes them such great expressions. That's why they write so good. It's why they play so well. It's why their voice is so beautiful, because all of those things, all of that emotion is is busting out of them, and they need somebody to help them guide it. And there's more to the music business than just performance or singing or writing. There's a business element, and that's where the manager comes in. I've heard people say um, it's 20% talent and 80% business. And nothing could be further from the truth. Let me tell you, it's 100% talent. You're trying to get as close as you can to 100% of the talent. It's 100% marketing. You're trying to get as close as you can to 100% as a marketer. It's 100% promotions. It's 100% business. It's 100% performance. In each of these categories, you want to get as close as you can to 100%. And they all are important. Not one is more important than the other because they work hand in hand. When you are a good manager, you understand that sometimes the artist that you manage can be difficult. And because that artist is difficult, you know where and when to put them in front of somebody. Now, you put them in front of their audience because that's where they shine. But maybe you don't put them in front of business relationships because they don't shine so well. So it's your job as a manager to build relationships for the artist. Now, let me tell you, Karen White, when I first started managing Karen White, I would be Karen White sometimes. I would write different things for Karen White. Now she'll tell you this, and because Karen wasn't fully bought in to being an artist yet, and as a manager, it was my job to make sure that Karen White was always seen in the best light. So whatever that meant, whatever that took, my job was to make sure that if you interface with Karen White through social media or anything, that you got a great experience with her. And then my job as her manager was to say, hey, this fan here or this person here is a big fan of yours. And this is what you said. And because I knew my artist, because I understood who she was, I understood the need, because she wasn't all the way bought in, that my job was to make sure that she was presented in the best light. That's what managers do. Managers are relationship builders. Managers understand that they build careers not based on emotion, but based on critical thinking and pragmatism. So early in our careers together, when I started working with Karen, we had a friction, and and at one point she thought that we weren't, because I had a 4-month contract with her, and the contract was coming to an end, and we didn't talk for a while, and a few weeks had passed, and then we finally started talking again, and it was a silly argument, but we finally started talking again, and she said, King, we got to get back to work because we had to do this. We have to do this. And I said, what are you talking about? That's already done. And she said, well, we weren't talking. I said, Karen, it don't matter that we weren't talking. We had to get this work done. And so I got it done. It was the beginning of our marriage as artist and manager. And even when I stopped managing Karen, she could call me anytime for anything, even today. And when you build that kind of relationship, when you build that kind of connection, there's always opportunities that happen. And so when Karen White got an opportunity to go back to South Africa after I brought her there before a couple of times, and one day they called her, she called me. She could have called anybody, but she called me. As a manager, that's when you know that you're valuable. Not just valuable, but invaluable. When the artists that you no longer represent on in a real way, but they call you and you build that bridge where you can always connect. So guess what? I made money because Karen White said, "Hey King, negotiate this deal." And then she paid me for negotiating the deal. Then I went to South Africa with her, and it was a great time. I've been all over South Africa because of Karen White. When you put skin in the game, as a manager, this is for managers, when you put skin in the game, as artists grow, and I don't care how arrogant, how disrespectful, how ugly they get, there comes a time in their career when they grow up, when they mature, and they come back to you and they say thank you. They come back to you and they bless you. They come back to you when you have an event or something that you're doing that you would like them to speak at, and they bless you that way. That's what a good manager does. A good manager builds a real relationship that's built on bedrock. Irrespective of who the artist is, what the artist does, how the artist sees them that day or during that season, eventually the artist will come back and say, thank you. Sometimes what you think isn't a good fit. It's just that. It's just you got to, you know, move around a little. You have to build that. You got to build them ridges for for you to have that smooth back and forth. It takes time. It's a lot of work. But when you build a career, when you build relationships based on mutual respect and understanding, a career that you start or help start, either you will ride the wave from the beginning to the end, or as you exit, the respect, the appreciation, the gratitude, the love never goes away. Mike, how many minutes I have?
You have 2 minutes here.
Okay, never go. I'm gonna never go away, and that's why even to this day, Karen White is my client, my friend, my sister. She, Karen White, talks about me when I'm not around. I know what people tell me, the same way I talk about Karen when she's not around, and I'm sure people tell her. She hears about it. As a manager, it is your job to be the beginning of the building block of mutual respect and possibilities. Karen White was a frightened little girl when she came back out in 2012. Today, she's a grown woman flying high, and you can catch her shows and catch her all over the place because she's just doing big things. So we were a good fit as we are today. My name is Jay King. You're tuned into the Jay King Show at KBLA Talk 1580. We'll be right back.
Good. Cool.
How many minutes?
All right, this is a 9-minute segment. If
9
you'd like to
minutes.
do that. Yep,
You ready?
I am ready, Jay.
It's the Jay King Show at KBLA Talk 1580. We're talking about building that good fit. How do you find a good fit? How do you know if the artist or is a good fit for the manager is a good fit for the artist? And I got to tell you, most times it might feel like you're not. And sometimes it may feel like you guys are just a good fit and then things start to fall apart. But eventually during the course of that relationship, there are going to be some trying times. And as an artist, you may look for somebody else because there will be people that come at you, especially as you become more and more successful, that can tell you that they can do more, that they can be more. They'll tell you what your manager is doing wrong and blah blah blah. And there will be artists that come to your manager that will tell them, hey, I saw them doing this, and they're not serious. I'm really serious. And so on both sides, you have people coming at you. And if you are if you're a good manager or if you're a real artist, you know that this is part of the game. This is part of the business. And if you want to take on another client uh, as a manager, you have to be able to tell whether you can manage your caseload or not. If you're not capable of managing more than one artist right now, don't do it. A good manager will stop, wait, and assess before he or she takes on a second or third artist. If you're an artist, don't manage hop from one manager to another. One manager because something doesn't go your way. Because what'll happen is this is a very small circle. People will hear about you, people will talk about you, and people will stay away from you. And when you do find a manager, it'll be a bottom of the barrel manager because all of the real managers won't want to be in business with you because they know that you manager hop, and that's unacceptable. What I want to talk about here, though, is some of the areas of expertise that a manager should be versed in. If you are a manager that and you want to be impactful for your artist, you must know artist development or at least know somebody who can help you in that area. And so artist development is when you guide the artist, you guide them in their imaging, you guide them in their growth from a musical standpoint, a production standpoint, a writer standpoint. And doesn't mean that you have to do it. It just means that you have to know how to connect them to people that do the different things that artist might need in the development area. If you know somebody who's a stylist or who you think it has a really good look to them, maybe you bring that person in to help develop a style. If you know some photographers, somebody even some of your own friends, that that are interested. You just you start developing the look. In every community, there's a bunch of guys that write and produce records and have their own little studios at home. Start developing and guiding the artist. You don't have to do it overnight. Don't let time be an issue for you. Take your time, find a career path. Make sure that before the artist releases anything, that it's something that can stand up. Doesn't have to be a super big, gigantic, ginormous hit, but it has to be of quality. Even if it's just an okay record, the fact that the voice is great, that the production was good, that the song the song was instrumentally put together well. As a manager, you should have some music industry knowledge. Uh, um, you got to understand how record labels and publishers and performing rights organizations and distributors work and how they work hand in hand with each other. That the record label that you sign to is responsible for creating the budget that allows the artist to record. That the publisher is the person that will take your copyrights and protect them by registering them properly, and that your publishing, as you as a songwriter, are automatically the publisher. But you still have to set up a publishing company with one of the performing rights organizations, CSAC, ASCAP, BMI, so that your songs can be registered under your publishing company. And then you as a writer are paid differently than you as a publisher with CSAC, ASCAP, and BMI. But when it comes to the record label will pay the publisher, which is you. And the publisher will pay the writer, which is you. So CSAC, ASCAP, BMI will pay the writer a check, the publisher a check. But the record company will only pay the publisher a check. And the publisher will pay the songwriter. So you got to understand how all those things work, and that the record label and the publisher are two different things, two different entities. That the distributor is iTunes. The distributor is what's the other download? Amazon. Anywhere that you're downloaded from, that's the distributor. They are the distributor, but you have to go through. You can't go to iTunes directly. You have to go to iTunes through TuneCore, CD Baby, Warner's, Universal. All of those are the distributors, and I mean, those are the record companies, and the distribution system are the different platforms that your music is downloaded through. So, and then you got to know what tour management is, how to organize the logistics, the bookings, the planning of a tour so that it's efficient. You have to know how to network and build relationships. You need a public relations person. These are things that managers must know if they're going to be efficient and effective for the artist. When we come back, we got more to talk about, a little time to do it in. So I hope you guys are getting enough from me in this broadcast. I'll be right back to try to tie this knot. I'll be back to try to tie this bow for you. You're listening to the Jay King Show at KBLA Talk 1580.
Good. Got it. Thank you so much.
Okay. So I saw Mo. Mo, you guys don't ask me questions now. Ask me questions afterwards, because I can't see what you guys are saying until afterwards, because I can't disrupt the broadcast. You ready?
Yes, sir. 4.5, if you will.
Okay. It's the Jay King Show at KBLA Talk 1580. My name is Jay King. I hope you're getting a lot from the show. There's so little time to talk about such a big subject, but I want to get into content strategy, because a lot of people are just releasing music and there's no strategy to it. As a manager, you can't say, I'm gonna leave the music to you, and I'll do this other stuff. I'll do the business. You have to help the artist when it comes to content strategy. What do I mean when I say content strategy? What strategy are you going to use when you release this record? When you plan the video, when you plan the release of the single, when you do behind the scenes content, when you create the cover of of your single or your album. You got to have a strategy for all that. When are you doing it? Why are you doing it? How are you doing it? So I'm getting ready to release a single. And right now, what I'm doing is I'm putting all the assets in order so I can start to build my content strategy when I'm going to release it. What is it going to look like? Yes, I have all my ISRC codes. Yes, I have it mastered. Yes, I've delivered the parts for the cover. Yes, I'm doing a digital release and a CD release. Maybe I'll do a limited edition vinyl release. Um, I have a press release. I have a video. All of those things are connected to your content. And you can't just release them. You can, but when you do, it won't turn out well for you. If you're going to release them with a strategy. So a lot of independent artists make a lot of beautiful music. And the sad part is that as beautiful as the music is, the the strategy that went with the release doesn't exist. They they don't have all the copyright and publishing information on the release. And without that, you may or may not be protected as it relates to royalties and the collection of royalties. So as a manager, really make sure that you know those things and you do those things. When it comes to analytics and insight, again, as a manager, uh, use data, information, real information to drive the decisions you're going to make about music, about touring, and about marketing. There's so much more to this thing than just releasing music. It's not as simple and easy as people think it is. But with a manager and with a good team, what could be a difficult task can get easier, a lot more organized, and a lot more rewarding. My name is Jay King. You're tuned into the Jay King Show at KBLA Talk 1580. When I come back, we'll wrap this thing up.
Cool.
All right. Yeah. 4 minutes.
Yes, sir. Sounds
Is
great.
is it 4 minutes or 4.5?
4. 4, please, here.
Okay. You're tuned into the Jay King Show at KBLA Talk 1580. My name is Jay King, and we're talking about the right fit for an artist, the right fit for a manager. How do you find that right fit? Sometimes you don't. Sometimes it finds you. And before we get out of here, I want to talk about a few things. Number one, legal basics. Uh, know enough to spot red flags with your artist early on. Communicate with a legal professional in the beginning. Find you a good attorney that is a music business attorney. I know some of you guys, your Uncle Milber. I'm sorry, Mike. Your Uncle Wilbur is knows he's a lawyer, and he's done divorces and all kinds of stuff that doesn't make him a music attorney. Get a real music attorney. Um, Understand that the legal part to this business. Uh, Make sure that you have a good team, that you've assembled a good team with somebody that can do PR. You can get one of your friends and teach them. Let them go read and search the internet and go through AI and find out how to be a good PR person. Start building you a team. Um, find you a good agent, or again, build you a good agent from one of your friends, from one of those hardworking friends you have. Um, if you are a manager and you understand PR or booking, you do that until you find the right person. Find you a good attorney and a good accountant, and make sure that these are people that are going to be long-term players with you. Don't trust anybody with your money. As an artist, you pay everybody. Don't trust the manager. Don't trust the attorney. Don't trust the accountant with your money. You take your money and then you let the accountant tell you what needs to be paid out to who, and you send that money to him or her. You pay them their fee. You pay the attorney his fee. You pay the PR their fee, but you control the money. The one thing that I made sure of with Karen White was that I did not touch her money. She was the payer. She was in control of her money. I don't care how much you love your manager, how much you trust your manager, how much you appreciate your manager. You do not let your manager, your accountant, your business professional, not anyone control your money. You control the money, and you and your business folk, you guys talk about it. They tell you what needs to pay out. Why? They send you uh, um, uh, a sheet of God. Why can I not think about it right now, Mike? Oh, they send you the reconciliation, and from the reconciliation, you know what checks are going to who. You send that money to your accountant. Your accountant then sends you uh, a history of what was paid out, what check number, what day, and you keep a file of that. You do that, and you do the hard work, and you take advantage of every opportunity, and you open your mind out to possibility, and you pick you a good manager, and the sky will be the limit for you. That's the beauty of this business, that you can do what you love for your life, and you can have a wonderful ride. My name is Jay King. You've been listening to The Jay King Show at KBLA Talk 1580. If you haven't downloaded the iHeartRadio app yet, do so. Download iHeartRadio and search for The Jay King Show on iHeartRadio and follow me, and you'll get to hear this show and all my other shows. I'm Jay King. This is KBLA Talk 1580, and we'll see you next time.
Good. Thanks, Jay.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think I might want to do a second part to this, because there's so much more that a manager has to do, need to do. I think. Hey, Kelsey, thank you for tuning in. That I think artists need to know about managers, but managers need to know about artists as well. Because sometimes, Mike, a manager can put too much time into an artist that's not worth it. And and so as a manager, uh, if I see somebody, and I don't care who it is, if they're going to be too difficult for me, I pass. Sometimes, and so I want the artist to pay me, but if I have a hard time getting my money from the artist, I won't work for him again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Karen White spoiled me. And sometimes Karen pay you before the money even get there. It's hard to find, so and there's some artists out there that are just um there's some artists out there that just that aren't they don't appreciate people that do the good work, that do the hard work for them.
I would imagine some don't think you're probably worth it or doing enough for them, or doesn't see the value.
Well, what happens is a lot of times artists will believe that everything that happened for them, uh, they did it.
Yep.
They'll forget that all the hard work that you put in, and they'll say things like, "You wouldn't be nothing without me. I'm the one doing all the work. I'm the one on stage doing." Um, do you recommend a manager that's already been in the industry? Not necessarily, Mo, because sometimes managers that have been in the industry, they're going to want to get paid. So if you're a baby artist just starting out, uh, you know, they're gonna want very seldom will artists. I mean, unless a manager is known for taking baby acts and building them up, but managers that have history in the industry, especially if you're a new act, a lot of times they will decide you um, that they're going to control everything. They're going to control your money. They're going to control everything. So Renee Escovedo said, "I think it's better to find one that you can groom. It's going to fit what you need for your project specifically." I agree with you, Renee. I think when you can find an artist, um, when you can find a manager inside your camp, people around you that are new, but that are eager and hard workers, they'll do better for you than any name artist ever could because they were developed for you. They're there for you, and the passion that they have, and they'll work beyond what a, a manager like me who's been in the industry for a long time, right? I don't like managing new acts. It's too much work, and I don't have that kind of time. So I'll take artists that exist already, that have already done things, and I'll build them. I will say this: there's only one artist that I've come in contact in recent years that I would actually take out time to try to develop, and he's older than me. and and that's Pete Velasco. And it's only because I love the music so much. I just think that, but then the battle with him would be getting him to respect the fact that you got to get out here and do the work. That that it's going to be uh, real work. But that's the only older artist. I mean, that's the only new artist that I would say, yeah, I'll work with you. Otherwise, I don't work with new artists, and I'll tell new artists, um, but I know a manager that will. If I know somebody that I think would be a good manager for somebody, I'll connect them to them. But if I know somebody that's a real dick, that's an artist, and a manager comes to me, I'll tell them, nah, not that one. That's not going to be a good fit for you. I will tell them that. All right, Mike, we're good.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Thank you guys. Uh no, my comments aren't off. D Rob said, "Are your comments off?" No, the comments I'm off. Great job, everyone. Bless. No, D Rob, I'm glad you. I don't know why. Uh, um, so D Rob was listening. He said the comments off. No, the comments aren't off. You might have to subscribe to the broadcast. I think.
Yeah, I wonder
I don't
what
know.
he's watching on or viewing from.
He's probably watching from YouTube. And he
I
said,
like you, dude.
I also think that some of the best managers that I've ever met have so much more experience in the industry and are very much well-rounded in understanding the multiple aspects of being a manager. Absolutely, Renee, because once you know how to do it, you know how to do it. The problem is, are you going to, is it somebody that's interested enough in you? So, I mean, you're Renee Escovedo. So, of course, you are going to, managers will be interested in you because you are a known entity in the industry. You work, you generate revenue, and managers like people that generate revenues because they can take what that artist is doing and develop uh, their revenue stream even greater. What type of person becomes a good manager? That's a good question. Anybody can be a good manager. A person that's really passionate about this kind of work. If you are a flamboyant person and you want to be seen, I don't know how good of a manager you become because you start promoting yourself more than the artist. I am a very behind the scenes manager. I don't. I'm not. When I'm with the artist, I am with the artist. Whether it's Cameo, Eddie Levert, Karen White, they are the star, and I make it clear. So good managers really know how to make their stars feel like and become stars. Where can I go to start a search for a new manager? That's the tough part. It's I don't know where to search. I think sometimes you search for a new manager just in your own fan base. There are people uh, that are watching you in social media, watching you in performances, people that are sometimes your super fans that will do everything for you. Uh, and what a role manager is, a role manager is something totally different, Renee. A role manager and an artist manager are two separate things. A role manager is only out there with the band, making sure that all the elements, the back line, whatever the writer said for the group is there, and they just manage what happens there. That's a totally different thing than a personal manager or an artist manager. So when I say, so when I'm out on the road with Karen White, uh, even if I will act as the road manager and be a personal manager at the same time. So I will make sure that the stage and what's supposed to happen there and all the stuff that's supposed to happen, that happens. And then I will make sure that the business happens. So, so it should my manager be an ally with my record label? Absolutely. Manager should always be an ally with the record label, whether it's independent or major. It's my job to get what you want to get done by all means necessary. The reason I post that question is because sometimes I found that there are road managers out there that have developed into great managers, artist managers. Absolutely. Some of the best managers come from the road because they see it all. So I think what happens, Renee, is that people who are in it, they start to love it, and the passion starts to and they become self-starters. They learn more and more, they read more and more, and they become better versed because they're hungry for it. And those are the when you can find a manager with passion, somebody who loves it, hmm, you found a good thing, something like a wife.
Or a husband. Oh, I didn't realize my mic was on. Or a husband.
Hmm. Well, Mike, I won't find a husband. I'm a dude.
Well,
Well, I'm a dude.
Karen
I'm
White,
speaking from a
Jay King.
now. If you maybe you fly on both sides. I don't know.
Well, Karen White, Jay King. wife manager.
He
Wife
said that's hilarious, but it's a marriage. A manager and an artist is a real marriage. All right, you guys. Mike is, I'm in bed by 8.
Yeah, very good show. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really engaging. We love it.
Thank you guys so much. Peace out.
See ya.